It is Thursday, the day before the weekend, 12th day of September 2024, and I'm Dan Kuntz. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Thanks for starting your day with us. Here on the NCW Life Channel, 61 degrees, mixture of clouds and sun, starting to feel like autumn. We only hit, what did we get yesterday? 74, below normal for the first time in a long time. Our normal high is about 78 or 79 this time of the year. We're going to be below normal today, going to be warming up to near normal over the weekend. All things considered, outside of some windy conditions today and tomorrow, it's going to be a little breezy. Outside of that, weather's pretty quiet, pretty benign. We did get a little bit of rain, 2/100ths of an inch, if that even counts, but we'll take whatever we can get. That was yesterday, and now there's no real rain in the forecast. Not much weather to talk about, but whatever there is, we'll do it in just a couple of minutes. It was another busy day in the newsroom yesterday. Man, we're racking them up. We have a lot of news to get to in just a few minutes. Sports, the Mariners won, Astros lost. We like that. In fact, Brian Wu took a perfect game into the seventh inning. We'll have highlights and Brian Wu's reaction, plus the preview of tonight's prep action, both on the pitch and on the court. And of course, we got our first fall sports live broadcast tomorrow. With the Eastmont Wildcats taking the field. We'll be there with our cameras. Kickoff at 7 o'clock. Looking forward to that. And RiverCon needs telecommunicators, and I mean they need them bad. They are way down on telecommunicators, the people who answer the phone when you dial 911. It's a good job. It's a necessary job. RiverCon doesn't close. It's not like they have hours. And they're having a big hiring event. If you're thinking about maybe becoming a telecommunicator, think you might be good at it, you can find out on September 21st. We interviewed Doug Jones, the executive director of RiverCom, and one of their top telecommunicators. You might be familiar with Monica Siebert. She's been on TV before. She's going to be on TV again in the back half of the program. Do not miss that interview that I did with Doug and Monica in the back half of the program. Let's go. We have a lot to get to. We're done wasting time. Around the valley we go with the Wenatchee Heights camera, looking out over the Wenatchee Valley. Days continue to shorten up. We're losing about 3 minutes and 21 seconds of daylight every day as we get closer and closer to the autumnal equinox. 12 hours and 42 minutes of daylight now, with sunrise at 6:35 and sunset at 7:17. It's the middle of September. You can expect that. Up to Lake Wenatchee we go because we just love that camera. Just a beautiful camera. Look at the sun peeking through the clouds and bathing the slope of Dirty Face Mountain. That's just really sweet indeed. And again, just like I mentioned yesterday, I don't know why the Kaler Glen Golf and Ski Resort looks so green, but it does to me. It could be. I've hit a few balls into the forest from Kaler Glen, and by a few I mean a lot. Billy Goat. Speaking of golf courses, there's the Alta Lake Golf Course down there, and yes, I have lost a few golf balls there as well over the years. I wonder how many golf balls I've actually gone through since I was about 10. Probably a few thousand. It's just a guess. I don't know. Good morning to Pateris. Good morning to Brewster. Good morning to Bridgeport. That's just a stunning view there. That camera is over 4,000 feet above sea level. It's up there, high atop Billy Goat Mountain, looking down over the Mid-Howe and the Columbia. And let's go to the Hay Canyon camera. I haven't used this one in a while. Up above Cashmere, looking back towards the Wenatchee Valley and the sunrise. That's beautiful, too. Look at the clouds. They look all kind of cool-like. So from our Hay Canyon camera, haven't used that one in a while. Good morning to Cashmere. It's good to have you folks on board on this Thursday. Let's jump right to it. Let's go right to the weather forecast because there's really nothing else to talk about except that. Sunshine today, although a little on the breezy side. We'll see a pretty consistent wind at about 10 to 14 miles an hour. We'll get up to 76, slightly below normal. Clear tonight, winds will be pretty consistent. Again, about 10 to 15 miles an hour. Overnight tonight with a 52 for the overnight low. Friday, lots of sunshine in the morning. Clouds roll in the afternoon. It's not a big system, just a weak short wave. But you will notice as we progress through the day on Friday and head into the weekend, the clouds will be thickening up and will warm up a little bit too, with a high of 79. Pretty cloudy Friday night. That's going to keep us warm. The blanket will be on, 57 for the overnight low. Saturday, partly sunny, with a high of about 76. This is just a weak chance of a raindrop or two on Saturday. It's only 20%. Probably not going to happen. Partly cloudy Saturday night, 51 for the overnight low. We wrap up the weekend Sunday with lots of sunshine and a high of 73, 78 on Monday with lots of sunshine, and then things start cooling down and maybe a raindrop or two on Tuesday and Wednesday. most of next week. Once we get to Tuesday of next week, looks pretty cloudy, pretty cool, and maybe a little wet. And I have no problems with any of those things as we welcome autumn. We are going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to have a lot of news for you. You're watching the Thursday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel.
Enjoy the sounds of summer from your very own pool and spa. Blue Lagoon is now scheduling pool installations for this summer. Call today to schedule a free consultation for a custom San Juan fiberglass pool. And let the experts at Blue Lagoon handle the construction, installation, and regular maintenance. Turn your boring backyard into vacation paradise this summer with industry-leading San Juan pool. No need to go off the deep end. Relax knowing you're in great hands with Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa.
Riley Gaines, the All-American female swimmer at the University of Kentucky, is our guest speaker for the Chelan County Republican Lincoln Day Dinner and Fundraiser, September 22nd at 6 p.m. at the Wenatchee Convention Center. Riley's call to action is to defend and protect America's daughters from competing with and sharing locker rooms with biological men. Join us for an exciting evening with Riley Gaines and support our local candidates. VIP event at 5, dinner at 6. Go to Chelan County Lincoln Day at gmail.com for tickets.
Paid for by the Chelan County Republican Central Committee.
The family at the Epladolin want to help your loved one feel at ease in their new home environment. Epladolin offers beautiful one-bedroom and studio apartments. Residents enjoy 3 delicious home-style meals a day, laundry service, housekeeping service, and encouragement to make themselves cozy in their new home. Epladolin welcomes your family to come and visit their family. Epladolin, independent and assisted living. They make the complicated easy for you. Call today for a tour.
I'm Jim Heinlein, agent at Springwater Insurance here in North Central Washington. As a licensed agent, we can't disclose any plan changes as it relates to Medicare year 2025, but we are getting ahead of all of these upcoming changes that will affect you. We have rented the entire upstairs ballroom for the first 3 days of October. You will get all your Medicare questions answered, but don't miss this talk or I'll explain all your options. To save a seat, give us a call now.
Sunshine for the most part, 61 degrees, will be mid-70s today. A few clouds begin to roll in on Friday. Very nice weekend, although it's going to be a little breezy today and tonight. It's 8 minutes after the hour. A 34-year-old man was arrested yesterday on suspicion of assault after a police search that led nearby Chelan schools to lock their doors. Jesus Alberto Lulu Gonzalez of Manson was booked on suspicion of second-degree assault and resisting arrest after allegedly threatening another man with a knife. This happened in the 400 block of East Woodin Avenue at about 10:30 yesterday morning, and then he took off from Chelan County Sheriff's deputies who were trying to chase him down. He was later found hiding in the yard of a nearby residence on East Okanagan Avenue. The search led Owens Elementary School to go into a modified lockdown. That meant the doors were locked to the outside, but students were allowed to move about inside between classrooms. Other Chelan schools likewise locked down as they continued their search. Aside from the alleged assault, Lulu Gonzalez was also wanted on 2 warrants, including one for violating his probation in a 2023 assault conviction. A murder trial that's been pending for more than 6 years is finally scheduled to go forward. Ului Teilolilo has been held in jail since 2018. He's charged with the murder of his wife, Peggy Teolilo, in the trailer that they shared in Rock Island. Peggy had previously reported instances of domestic violence allegedly carried out by her husband, and she was found dead by a gunshot wound. In a 4-hour hearing on Tuesday, Douglas County prosecutors and Teilolilo's defense attorney began finalizing details for the trial before Judge Brian Huber, which is set to begin on Monday. A further preliminary hearing is scheduled for today. Tululelu has been facing a lot of trial dates in the past, but this is the first time his case has actually reached this point. Delays have included multiple appeals, including one to the Washington State Supreme Court. That appeal argued that the police search that discovered his wife's body was illegal. The justices turned down that argument by a vote of 7-2. Potential jurors will report to the Waterville Courthouse come Monday morning. The Chumstick Valley man who held police at bay for 18 hours last year is now charged with assault for allegedly pointing a rifle at an officer during the incident. 49-year-old Abel Wilkes is already in prison for aiming a rifle and making threats to his neighbor. This happened back in March of 2023 outside his Mary Canyon trailer home. The assault was what brought the Chelan County Sheriff's Office and multiple other police agencies to that property. They eventually destroyed his trailer with an armored vehicle and arrested him. One Wenatchee police officer, Corey Bernache, fired shots during the standoff after allegedly seeing Wilkes aim a rifle at a fellow officer, Miguel Ruiz. Chelan County Sheriff's detectives refrained from pursuing charges against Wilkes until the police use of force was thoroughly investigated. That investigation is done. Bernache was cleared of any wrongdoing back in February. Chelan County prosecutors filed the new charge of second-degree assault against Wilkes last month. No trial date has been set. Well, a series of setbacks has delayed the completion of the Wenatchee girls softball field. In an update given to the Wenatchee School Board, Superintendent Corey Callahar explained that the turf company equipment broke down last week, and that left the turf remaining incomplete. He also said the scoreboard and the bleachers won't be delivered until October. Over the summer, the construction was also interrupted by an unexpected water main that was discovered under the field. That needed to be rerouted, and that contributed to the delay. Throughout the process, project managers from the contractor, Spokane-based Turner and Townsend Heery, said they anticipated the field's completion in August. The first girls' slow-pitch softball home game was scheduled around the construction of the field. This was set for September 24th, but Callahar said they're aiming for the next home game on October 8th to get the girls playing on the new field. The September 11th anniversary is also, of course, known as Patriots' Day, and it's become a day when a lot of residents in our country who hail from other countries choose to become citizens. Wednesday's ceremony at the 9/11 Spirit of America Memorial in Kashmir featured commemorations of September 11th, 2001, plus the naturalization of several new citizens, including one who officially became an American at the age of 94.
And because of those sacrifices, we remain really a beacon to the world in America, beacon of the world for the freedom and the self-determination for those that work hard and come to America can achieve that great American dream. And that's why it was really an honor to this morning to host a naturalization ceremony where 30 new American citizens came to America and took the oath. So congratulations to them if they're in the audience today.
Norma Gallegos is a Wenatchee immigration coordinator, and she helped the new citizens on their way to yesterday's naturalization ceremony.
Thank you, Doug, and thank you to every one of you who is here present. Your presence here today demonstrates the love you have for your community, and especially for those that shall never be forgotten. In Washington State only, most people don't know that we have currently over 250,000 Washingtonians eligible to become citizens. That means that those folks are walking around with a green card, and today, for the first time, as part of the 9/11 Spirit of America Memorial, earlier today, 30 people from 8 different countries took their oath of allegiance with USCIS Immigration Services. So at this time, I would like those 30, if they're here, to stand before you as we have 18-year-olds to 95-year-olds. De pie los que se hicieron ciudadanos, por favor. So if you are here, please stand. As many of you remain in the area, we applaud you. Some of you have been here 3 years, and some of you have been here 50 years, like Señora Anaya de Luna with many of her family members. It is quite an honor. This country has so much to offer. And most people also don't know, to my knowledge, that September 17 is Constitution Day, is Citizenship Day. So I would like to thank everyone involved to make this day possible.
The new citizens include Margarita de Luna, 94 years old, who's lived in the Wenatchee Valley since the mid-1970s after arriving from Mexico.
Well, she's been a permanent resident alien card holder since 1975, and migrant worker, came to the U.S., go to Mexico, come back and forth. For about 10 years, she's been a permanent resident here in the state of Washington. She lives with us, and the idea started about 2 years ago of becoming a U.S. citizen. There's a lot of steps that you have to jump through, but she has all the support with us. Ahora, ¿cómo se siente ahorita usted, ya que es ciudadana americana?
Bien.
She feels very content, very happy. Now she can vote, because that was her dream, to vote.
Speaking of voting, an educational forum next week aims to teach local residents about the ins and outs of the voting system. The forum will be held at the McGuire Conference Center on the campus of Wenatchee Valley College on September 17th. From 6 to 7, attendees can enjoy refreshments and learn about voter registration. And then from 7 to 8:30, there'll be a Q&A with Chelan County Auditor Skip Moore and Douglas County Auditor Thad Duvall. Their offices, of course, manage elections and voter services in their respective counties. Activities will be provided for kids, and there'll be Spanish translation as well. And a GoFundMe page has been created for 2 Cascade High School teachers who lost their home in a fire earlier this week. According to the GoFundMe page, Alex Rosenfield and Anthony Lubetsky intended to build on the lot where their home was, and the home that burned down was intended to become the residence of Rosenfield's mother. Along with all of their belongings, the couple lost building materials, tools, and their tractor. I checked this morning, the GoFundMe has raised over $8,000 of its $20,000 goal, and yep, a link to the donation can be found by going to our website. And that's the news at 16 minutes after the hour. It's been a busy week. I feel sorry for Jefferson and Jordan and Casey and the whole crew that put the news together. It's been a busy week. They need a break, but they're probably not going to get one until Saturday. The news at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock tonight, 5, 6, and 10 on television. Also on the World Wide Web right at 5 o'clock via our homepage, ncwlife.com, our YouTube page, our Facebook page. We have an app, and we're darn proud of it. And if there's something out there you think is newsworthy, get a hold of us. We'd love to hear from you. News at ncwlife.com. When the Mariners win and the Astros lose this late in the season, it's a good thing. Good sports. In 2 minutes, you're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Want to stay up to date on the latest news in the area? Tired of paying for your news? Download the NCW Life app now. No subscriptions necessary. Get news, weather, sports, and more live as it happens. Available for iPhone and Android in the App Store. Local news at your fingertips. Don't miss the stories that matter to you. Stay connected. Download the NCW Life app now.
Global Car Care has the best customer service in the Valley. From the moment you walk in the door, their goal is to help you stay on the road, so you can keep doing what's important to you. Global Car Care certified ASE mechanics stand behind your automotive repairs.
When you buy tires at Les Schwab, you're getting more than just tires. You're getting America's best tire warranty, 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. So if something happens to your tire on the road, we'll fix it, or we'll replace it, no questions asked. Other places make you pay extra for that kind of protection, but at Les Schwab, it's included with every set of tires, because more warranty means less worry, and nobody stands by their tires like Les Schwab. Get more from less.
Lifeline Ambulance has partnered with Wenatchee Valley Tech to provide EMT certification training within the high school. This opens up career opportunities in EMS, fire, and other medical fields, and gives these students a leg up when entering the workforce.
Students at Wenatchee Valley Tech, through our partnership with Lifeline Ambulance, can now earn their National Registry EMT certification.
"19 minutes after the hour, Brian Wu took a perfect game into the 7th inning. Luke Raley had a 2-run base hit. The Mariners beat the Padres 5-2 last night. J.P. Crawford added the 2-run double. Seattle moves now within 3.5 games of first place Houston in the AL West by splitting the 2-game series with the Padres.
1-1. There you go, base hit. Rojas, he scores easily. Manny will hold Robles at third. Mariners have an early lead. It's 1-0 and the third base is still loaded. Cal Raleigh ringing a bell. His 92nd run batted in. Runners go. 3-2 pitch. Line drive, base hit. Robles scores. Julio's coming in. Here's the throw to plate. Not in time. 2-run single. Luke Raleigh and the Mariners have a 3-0 lead. league. 3-2 pitch to JP. Base hit! Down the line, everybody runs! Raleigh scores! Turner scores! JP to second, a 2-run double! And the Mariners have a 5-0 lead. This is against the #1 hitting team in baseball. Manny Machado, line drive, left field, Rosarena, got it! Randy Rosarena with a defensive gem.
Driven to left field on a line towards the pole. It is gone. Breaks up the perfect bid with one out in the 7th. It's a home run for Fernando. His 16th of the year. Padres needed that, and they're on the board. Perfecto, no more. Fly ball to right field, sending Fernando back towards the wall. He leaps and makes the catch. Fernando made the grab in right. Why? Because he is Fernando. Time the leap, brings it down.
Here's the 1-2 from Munoz. Bouncing ball, Polo. Throw to first, locked down, and wins. The Mariners take this game 5-2, pick up a full game on the Houston Astros. They're now 3.5 behind in the chase for the American League West. A spectacular game by Brian Wu and just enough hitting.
Wu said that based on his warm-up before the game, he didn't have his best stuff, but when the game started, everything clicked.
I think it's more of like rhythm with, mechanically and attacking the zone, and you're not really thinking too much about, spots and whatnot. I think early on, especially, it's weird. You have those days, it's like, I didn't feel great in catch play. I didn't feel great in the bullpen, just kind of all over the place. And then you get out and it just clicks. Like it's just a weird game. But I guess after probably a couple innings, felt like we were in a good rhythm with the fastball, getting the off speeds kind of underneath and good spots that I like, especially later in counts and finish counts. So I guess probably a couple innings in. But yeah, you try to kind of just stay focused, stay present. You're obviously frustrated as a competitor. Like, what you're doing is special if you just kind of stay in the moment, and credit to them. I mean, they put some good swings on some good pitches, and it is what it is. It's more just me wanting to finish the job and at least finish that inning. And it's good pitch, good swing, tip your cap, profile, good pitch, good swing, tip your cap, and then that's what I was just. Cronenworth was probably the more frustrating at bat, just the walk. Probably at least 24 hours. I'd probably still be frustrated the rest of the night.
Mariners open a 4-game series against the world champion Rangers tonight. Bryce Miller will take on Kumar Rocker, who's making his major league debut. All right, there are 16 games left in the regular season, and the Mariners crept a little closer to Houston as the Athletics beat the Astros again by just a run, 5-4. Diamondbacks crushed the Rangers, 14-4. Twins beat the Angels, 6-4. Mariners are 3.5 back in the division, 4 games back of the third and final wild card spot. Lots of action going on, both on the pitch and on the court. On the pitch, Davis visits Wenatchee in girls soccer at 7 o'clock and leave off the field at the Apple Bowl. Eastmont travels down to Yakima, the gateway to Wapato. They'll be taking on Ike at 7 o'clock. Sunnyside is at Moses Lake in Big Nine Soccer at 7, and West Valley at Sela at 6. For the smaller schools, Cashmere will host Royal. Chelan welcomes Omak into town as Cascade at Liberty Bell. Quincy will be at Brewster. Ephrata will be at East Valley. Ellensburg will take on Mount Si, and Bridgeport will be at Lake Roosevelt. Volleyball, Wenatchee continues their long winning streak, we think. We'll find out when they take on Davis tonight in Yakima at 7 o'clock. Also at 7 o'clock, Eastmont will host Eisenhower, Moses Lake at Sunnyside, Sela at West Valley. And in other volleyball action, it's Royal at Cashmere, Omak at Tenasket. Chelan will take on Ephrata. Cascade welcomes Liberty Bell. It's Ellensburg welcoming East Valley, and LaSalle at Quincy. And those are just some of the games that people are playing 25 minutes after the hour. It's National Video Game Day. Today, National Video Game Day. For me, the video game, the first one that we all had, at least we did anyway in our household, was Pong. Pong was originally an arcade game. It was in bars and taverns and restaurants. And then they finally brought Pong to your home. And it was just Pong. It was just a box with two knobs on it. The big game changer was the Atari Video Computer System, the VCS. That was the first one in 1977 that had removable cartridges. So you could buy the unit, the hardware, and then you could buy the individual cartridges. That was a huge game changer. And of course, in 1985 came the Nintendo Entertainment System, and on down the line to what we have today, which is just stunning. I mean, what they've done to video games just in the last 10 to 15 years is just incredible. The highest grossing video game of all time, and this surprised me because I've never played it, World of Warcraft. It's the highest grossing video game of all time, and about 55% of all American households have a video game system. Enjoy today. It's 26 minutes after the hour. Today in history. 1857, September 12th, 167 years ago today, the SS Central America, carrying 578 people and 14 tons of gold from the California Gold Rush, sinks about 160 miles east of Cape Hatteras. Now, the most amazing thing is 153 passengers got out alive when they were in the eye of the hurricane. They took advantage of the calm seas, got into lifeboats, and got the hell out of there. But when there's 14 tons of gold sitting at the bottom of the Atlantic and not too deep of water, they're going to go looking for it. And Tommy Thompson formed a syndicate, and in 1988 found almost all of the gold. He found about 13 tons of the 14 tons of gold that was on board. And then here come the lawsuits. 39 insurance companies filed suit against Tommy Thompson and said, hey, they paid for the damages when the ship sank, so isn't that their gold? They went to court. It took forever for this to get settled, and then the court finally ruled that 92% of the gold that Tommy found, he gets to keep, kind of finders keepers. And then the syndicate sued Tommy Thompson. They said, we haven't gotten paid yet. Tommy Thompson took a powder. He took off. The United States Marshals finally found him in January of 2015. He was extradited. He agreed to give the gold back, and then he said, I don't really have the gold, or I have the gold, but I can't get to it. Eventually, Tommy and his syndicate, well, the syndicate got their money. Tommy ended up going to jail. Maybe they should have just left Better Enough alone anyway. The ship went down on the state in 1857. 65 years ago today, yeah, baby, we chased Lady Luck till we finally struck Bonanza, the very first regularly scheduled TV program in color. All of them in color. Bonanza premieres on NBC September 12, 1959. For the first two seasons, Bonanza did not have very good ratings, and NBC, after season 2, wanted to cancel the show. Hey, it's in color, it's very expensive to make, the ratings aren't that great, but NBC was owned by RCA, and RCA wanted to use Bonanza as a show to sell color television sets manufactured by RCA. So RCA told NBC to find a better time slot. They moved Bonanza for season number 3 to Sunday nights at 9 o'clock, and it became the most profitable and popular show on NBC. By 1970, Bonanza became the very first show ever to get in the top 5 for 9 consecutive seasons. It was a game changer. Bonanza made its debut on the state in 1959. 48 years ago today, September 12, 1976, the Seattle Seahawks play their very first game in their history. Regular season game, the games that count. And they almost beat the Cardinals. That would have been an upset, but they lost. The St. Louis Cardinals beat the Seahawks at the Kingdom. The final was 30-24. So if the Seahawks have a birthday, I guess it's today. And September 12, 1994, 30 years ago today, Frank Quarter got really drunk, stole a Cessna, and flew it into the White House's South Lawn. There were no other casualties. He was the only one who died. Radar technicians at Ronald Reagan Airport saw him, couldn't do anything about it. At 1:49 in the morning, he hit the South Lawn, died on impact. Needless to say, the crash caused reevaluation of security procedures around the White House because the White House is restricted airspace. There's always been a rumor, by the way, that there's surface-to-air missiles under the White House. They ain't saying. Birthdays. One heavenly birthday, the legendary Jesse Owens. The grandson of a slave. Of course, he gained international fame at the 1936 Summer Olympics by winning 4 gold medals. He returned to the United States to nothing. Nowadays, he'd be a hero and be set for life. But that wasn't the case in 1936. He worked as a gas station attendant, a playground janitor. He ran a dry cleaning firm. He would race against amateurs and horses for cash. He eventually had to file for bankruptcy, was convicted of tax evasion. Not the best way after you were an Olympic glory to end it. Anyway, the Jesse Owens Award is the highest accolade that the U.S. track and field can give out. And happy birthday to Louis C.K. He's 57 years old. Great screenwriter. He's got 3 Peabody Awards, 3 Grammy Awards, 6 Emmy Awards. He is 57 years old today. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. You're going to go from air conditioning to heat real quick. Make sure your system can handle it. Give Alpine Air a call. Yesterday, Mike McNally's opinion was about the Wenatchee Cross. Today, it's about the Leavenworth Cross, the proposed cross anyway. And then our visit with the folks at RiverCon, Doug Jones and Monica Siebert. They need telecommunicators. They're going to tell you all about it when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel.
What once was old now is new to the NCW Life Channel. Tune in for Bonanza, Superman, The Andy Griffith Show, The Beverly Hillbillies, The Invisible Man, The Lone Ranger, and The Lucy Show. Check your program guide for classic programming on NCW Life Channel, your local TV station.
Are you a good listener? Do you stay curious when exploring conflicts? Can you manage emotions in stressful situations? Do you want to help people create solutions that work for each person's needs, lives, and culture? We need people like you to learn to be volunteer mediators, and we're here to help. Contact your local dispute resolution center to discuss your interests and learn about training opportunities.
Discover a level of comfort you never thought possible. Discover stressless seating at Boswell's. Designed to harmonize with your body's natural movements, it's the premier destination for relaxation and rejuvenation. Right now, take 10% off all stressless recliners, sofas, tables, and ottomans. Boswell's, 2915 Easy Street in Wenatchee.
This is Mike Mad Dog McNally, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, that lighted cross in South Wenatchee and the planned one in Leavenworth, they got me thinking. Now, this is America, where our Constitution guarantees freedom of religion. It does not allow promoting one religion over the other. No, it doesn't. And now, how would the cross supporters feel if our Jewish folks wanted to put up a huge lighted Star of David overlooking the valley? Well, how about it if our Muslim devotees built an illuminated crescent and star that we had to look at every night? You know, at least those two faiths have some justification in saying they want to stand up against persecution, where we of the Christian faith really do not. No, we don't. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Flessenow is a small village in Germany, the heritage home to the Bruders family. Today, the Bruders family call Leavenworth home and make award-winning wines that celebrate the American dream. New Flessenow Cellars has spectacular views anywhere around the property, so bring your friends to taste award-winning handcrafted wines and seasonal specialties. New Flessenow is perfect for any celebration. From their family to yours, stop by this weekend and experience the charm for yourself.
A ductless unit from Carrier can keep anyone comfortable. Take Shelly, for instance. She finds me time in her new attic-turned-home gym. And with her Carrier ductless unit, the temperature is always perfect. No matter how intense her workout gets. Carrier. Total comfort, totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
Hello, 3 tickets, please.
Oh, the Discovery Center is free to visit.
So you're telling me we could look at the fish for free?
Yep, that's free.
But how much is it to drive the steamboat?
Todo es gratis.
So you're telling me that we could go play on the playground?
Still free.
It's free.
Exactly. Gratis, gratis, gratis. The Discovery Center at Rocky Beach. It's free.
When you've been in business for 40 years, it's because you understand change and you put members first, always. Now Works is announcing a change in their membership model. Up to 6 people on one membership that you can mix and match. The more people, the bigger the discounts. Introducing the Works shared membership model. One membership, friends and family and flexibility. Works, the cleanest, friendliest, most helpful gyms you and your friends will ever join.
Welcome back to the program. I think it went almost unnoticed, but RiverCon turned 20 years old earlier this year, approved by the voters to fund RiverCon. That happened in 2022. They had 2002. They had to wait a couple of years to build up the kitty. They started to dispatch RiverCon to the various agencies involved in July of 2004. RiverCon is 20 years old, and people want to know that their tax-paying dollars are being spent wisely and correctly, and RiverCon is a prime example of that. Before RiverCon, it was a hodgepodge of agencies, law enforcement, fire districts, EMTs. Now it's under one roof. RiverCon celebrating their 20th anniversary. Doug Jones is the executive director of RiverCon. We have a lot to talk about. First of all, they need help. They need people. We'll get to that in just a couple of minutes. Doug, thanks for joining me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for the opportunity, Dan.
And was there any kind of a 20th anniversary thingamajig back in July?
Not really. It just kind of happened. We updated our lease with the city. That was about the only signing that happened. So we had a 20-year lease with the city for $1 a year, basically, because we put a lot of infrastructure in here. So they extended that for 5 years for us.
But you're still going to need a new home. I mean, Wenatchee is growing. You're kind of outgrown your space. It might have been fine 20 years ago, but it was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
You purchased about 12 acres of property in East Wenatchee. RiverCon did.
Yeah.
That's just the property.
Right.
The hard part is getting something built. So
Exactly.
do you have a rough timeline on building something and start bidding out?
We
things
do.
like that?
So the board has done a good job, and RiverCom administration of really trying to put some money away over the last several years to build up a capital facilities account. So we were able to actually purchase the land cash, which is great, and that's really the first step, is getting that land. With obviously prices going up and things like that, we wanted to kind of get our foot in the door with buying that land. So that's been about a 2-year process. As you know, you have to find a piece of land when you're in this business that has characteristics that are radio friendly. So the piece that we purchased over in East Wenatchee, it has line of sight to all our different radio sites throughout the valley that then broadcast to all of our different agencies throughout the 2-county area. So that was really critical piece of the location. And then it's just a lot of space. It's got room to grow, things like that. So a lot of time and effort went into purchasing that. So I think it's going to work out.
Does you sometimes, in your job as executive director, I know you're new to it, Doug, are you concerned sometimes that people take it for granted, especially maybe some people who haven't been here as long as you and I have?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's always been there. It's always worked.
Right. Yeah.
Is that something that you have to remind people of?
I think so, and I think coming to this job on this side of the radio, the dispatch side, after working on the police side for so many years, I certainly, even being in the system, have had much greater appreciation for what the dispatchers do here and the network, the radio network, and things like that. So it's a tough job, and I really call my telecommunicators superheroes, because they really are. I mean, they're doing a lot of work. They're providing comfort to callers. They're saving lives. We had 6 life saves last year alone, where our dispatchers talked people through CPR, and it was reviewed by a doctor, and the doctor said, yes, had it not been for the dispatchers talking them through CPR, these people would have not made it. So real-time heroes is what I call them, because they're out there every day doing a great job.
Is the term even telecommunicator, is that becoming outdated? Should we call them something else now?
No, actually telecommunicator is rather new. It really professionalizes what we would consider the term a dispatcher, because they do more than just dispatch. They're answering the phone. They're really managing a lot to get the right resources to the people in need, at the right time. So there's a lot that goes into what they do. It's more than just dispatchers. That's why we call them telecommunicators. And as of recently, both at the state and national level, they are now considered first responders. So
well, they are.
They are.
They are. They're the first responders.
They are, exactly. So
come on September 21st in East Wenatchee is going to be a free public safety testing because Doug needs some new bodies, some people who think this might be something good for them to do. There's always been a shortage of telecommunicators. It's the nature of the beast, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's getting more critical lately in the last year or so, hasn't it?
Yeah, like I said, we've got a big job. We answer about 60,000 911 calls per year, about 100,000 business line calls. So they're constantly answering phone lines, and we dispatch for 22 different agencies. So that's a lot of work. We are authorized 37 telecommunicators, and currently we're at 22. So we have a big gap. So what that translates is a lot of the telecommunicators, actually all of them, are putting in a lot of hours. And that's the worst part of my job, is actually mandating hours, is saying, sorry you had that event or you had planned that weekend off to go do things, but you got to come to work. And that is really heartbreaking for me, and is something that we need to change. So that's why we really have a really big push on recruiting. We've got two that just went from our academy onto the floor in the last week, or a couple weeks rather. We have another two starting October 1st. They'll start the academy. And then we have this test coming up on September 21st to start looking at who do we want to put into our next academy, which is going to start in January.
22 telecommunicators answering that many calls is troubling to me personally, because they're probably raking in some pretty good dough and overtime and God knows what, but people need time off. People need downtime.
Right.
They need to have a family life and a personal life, and you're not going to have that when you're stretching 22 people thin over a business that never ever closes.
24/7, yeah.
That's troubling. What do people need to know? Say, we're planting the seed here, people, so pay close attention. The event's on September 21st, but there's a lot of things that people can do beforehand to understand whether they should even bother. And they should do their homework. And give me an example of that.
Well, first of all, we contract with public safety testing, as do all the law enforcement agencies. I think the jail does too, to do our initial testing. So if you're interested in becoming a telecommunicator, a lot of benefits, and we can talk about those. The first thing you need to do is go to our website at rivercom911.org, and there's a link there to start that process, signing up with public safety testing. Typically, you have to pay for that, but we have made an arrangement with public safety testing that if you log on and you select us as the agency you're testing for, when you go to checkout, that'll be paid for. So completely free test, September 21st in the morning. It's going to be at the fire station over in East Wenatchee, and show up and you take the test. That's really the first step. And it's not just a multiple choice test. It's specifically related to the task of telecommunicator. There's some practical exercise testing in there where you've got to find the best way to get from point A to point B. So there's a lot of mapping type stuff in there. So that's really the first step. And then from there, we go. We take the top testers from there, and we go into an interview process, another online skills test, and then a background. So the background. If you have a background that includes criminal behavior, things like that, probably not going to pass the background, depending on what that looks like. So that's something you can think about if you're looking at that. But I think the biggest thing is, are you cut out for it? There are people that we hire. That greatest people in the world, but they don't have what it takes to be a dispatcher. They just don't have that skill set, multitasking, critical thinking, things like that. So think about that. Are you good at multitasking? We like to recruit at coffee shops because the baristas are taking money, they're getting the order, they're talking. So we hand out our recruiting cards there because those are good multitaskers, right? So and then if you really like helping people, again. That's one of the biggest benefits, I think, is just being that person that brings calm to a situation, that is able to take charge, really, of a call and to make sure you're getting the information that the first responders need to get that help there as quickly as possible. And that's a rewarding feeling when you do that, and you do that good.
And Monica's going to talk about that. Yeah. Monica is one of their top dispatchers. You're probably familiar with her at the RiverCom ads that we did a couple of years ago during the last really big drive. We're going to talk to her in just a little bit. I want to point one thing out, Doug. There's a typo on this that says the starting salary is almost $4,800. That can't be right. It's got to be less than that. That's pretty good money.
It is.
Just on the base floor.
And that's another great benefit. One of the things, I mean, you can come right out of high school, and you got to be 18, obviously, but and you can apply with us. And we put literally 7 months to a year training into making you a telecommunicator. And that is a skill that you will have for life. That's like becoming a nurse or something. I mean, getting that skill is something you're going to have for life, and something you can take. We don't want you to leave, but something you can take other places and make this kind of money. And I don't know of any other job that you can come out of high school and get, $50,000 starting, and within your first year up to $60,000, $55,000 a year is kind of where we're starting at. And then after the first year, make it through your probationary period, you're up over 60. So that's not bad. That's a living wage here in Wenatchee.
And you're vested into the state system.
You're vested. You get good
phenomenal.
retirement, and they just changed the retirement system for telecommunicators. It's now PSERS. So it recognizes that it's a long career of stress in the telecommunicator world. So in PSERS, you have the option to retire a little bit earlier than 65 if you want. Maybe some reduced benefit, but still there's some options that you can retire before 65 and still make a pretty good retirement. And that's money that you put in, but primarily that's money that we put in to that retirement system for you.
One last question for Doug Jones. There's 20 some odd agencies that you guys are responsible for, between law enforcement, fire, EMTs.
I think it's 22.
22 of them. They're in many respects your clientele, your patrons. I've talked to a lot of the folks in leadership positions in all 22 of those, and they just love RiverCom. And that speaks more for RiverCom's success than you could ever do.
Right, and like I talked about earlier, I didn't know and appreciate until I got on this side of the radio how much the telecommunicators care about the first responders that they're responsible for, and it really is sobering. So. And that reflects on the job they do. They take it very seriously, so I'm just real proud of them and appreciate them so much.
RiverCom911.org is the website. It's easy to find. Do all your homework in advance. If there's something you might be interested in, circle the 21st on your calendar. And again, do your homework in advance. It's going to save you a lot of time. Doug, we're going to talk to Monica when we come back. Good enough?
Sounds good. Perfect.
I appreciate her sticking around. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
Are you hungry enough to eat the end out of a rhinoceros? I know how you feel. Come on out to Blueberry Hills. You'll have a great time. We've got excellent food, a feet on the furniture kind of experience, and we won't hustle you out of your table. If you want a real farm experience, make the trek to Manson to Blueberry Hills, where you sit, you pick, you eat, and you visit. So come on out and see what all the fuss is about. Blueberry Hills in Manson. It's where the world is coming to.
There's no place like home, because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories, and we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable. Carrier, total comfort, totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
It's one thing to talk to the executive director of RiverCom. It's another thing to talk to somebody who works the floor and works it well. You're familiar with this face because she was on the RiverCom ads that we did a couple of years ago. The job from a dispatcher / telecommunicator perspective. Monica, introduce yourself to our television family for those people who don't already know you.
I'm Monica Seibert. I've been here with RiverCom for going on 11 years.
Why 11 years ago? What made you do this?
Well, the family needed a change, some changes in my family life, so it was a good fit for me. I always care about the community I live in, so I thought it would be a good way to help them. And
did you recruit yourself, or did you
I recruited myself, yes. Yeah, so, and I'm still here, and I still love the job. Every day is different, which is good. You never know what to expect when you're coming to work, and if people like that and don't like the same thing every day, this is something good. You don't know what to expect.
What is the general skill set that somebody needs to be good at a telecommunicator, as a dispatcher? Just calm under pressure?
Yes.
Is there certain things that people should know they really need to have to pursue this?
Yeah, so it's some empathy, compassion, being able to multitask, being able to hear your radio, talk on the phone, talk on the radio all at the same time. It really takes some skill set for that. And just working in a fast-paced environment and being able to work quickly and make critical decisions in a split second. And so you have to have that critical thinking as well.
Did you have the epiphany moment, the aha, oh, I can do this, and I think I might be good at it? Did that happen during the training process?
Yeah, it took me a little bit longer because I kind of was in a little bubble with my home life. I didn't have a lot of experience outside, so coming in, it was a little bit of a culture shock to me, but I have empathy for people and really want to help the community, and our law enforcement agencies. Making sure they go home safe was a major priority. They want everybody to go home to their families every night, so that officer safety, looking kind of like being a detective, is digging into when they're on a contact with somebody. Let's see, make sure my guys are safe with this person in this contact. So,
as Doug mentioned, you are the first responders. When something goes wrong, they're calling 911, and somebody just down the hallway from where we're sitting is answering that phone. The most critical part of your job was when you answer the phone and you understand the situation. Is this a life-threatening situation? Do I need to get somebody to this person or to this situation as quickly as possible? Or where exactly are we on that? I suppose that's the most critical thing, isn't it?
Yeah, and just being able to, if you get a hysterical caller, just be able to get that control of that caller, being able to phrase things differently to get their attention, to get your questions answered so you can send the appropriate help, the correct amount of help, and what exactly they're needing. So
the majority of dispatchers, telecommunicators, once their job is done, they've dispatched the fire or the law enforcement or the EMT, whatever it is. They're kind of, most of that has kind of been done now, and they move on to the next phone call, and you don't really get a sense of closure. But you're different. You participated in the ad campaign that we did a couple of years ago. You got to do a follow-up when you saved the life of somebody. So that must have been rewarding.
Yeah, it is. And you think about the calls that you take every day. Like when you have a traumatic call, you always wonder, like, oh, what happened to them? I hope they're okay. So it was nice getting closure on that call, but we don't normally get that. So if that's something you have to have, this probably wouldn't be the job for you because you don't get the closure. But you can reach out to law enforcement or the aid crew and see if they're able to give you information. But for the most part, you just move on to the next call, and in the back of your mind, a lot of us think about those people and hope they're okay, but you don't always get that closure.
How much has technology changed in the last 11 years?
A lot, yes. It's improving every day, like what Doug was talking about with a text to 911 that we started. Once we get that, being able to have it translated for us, it'll help tremendously. And then with the technology with iPhones and Apple Watches, we get a lot of like crash notifications if people aren't able to call and they were in a car accident. Their phone or their watch tells us where they're at, so we're able to send them help that way. So,
well, I'm the one who asked Doug to bring on a dispatcher, a telecommunicator. He has brought you on, and I'm glad he did. Let's close with this, Monica. Sell the job to prospective telecommunicators out there, because we got to do better than 22.
Yeah.
We need to have 52 in my book.
Yeah. So if you like in a fast-paced, critical thinking, you can multitask, you care about your community and your law enforcement and all your first responders, this is a place for you. We have the most compassionate people here at RiverCom. We have such an amazing crew here. Everybody works together really well as a team. We all have the same end goal. We want to send that help and keep everybody safe. So if you want to be a part of this team, this is a good fit for you. And I also recommend you coming in and doing a sit-along. You can call RiverCom and set up a time to come in and sit with a dispatcher and see if you would be able to do this job, if it's something that you're interested in. So I highly recommend that.
You're 11 years into this job. You get a lot of self-satisfaction out of this, don't you? Each day is a good day for you for the most part, isn't it?
For the most part. Like he said, we're working a lot of overtime, so we need help here so we can get some time off. But I think we're all handling it well, and we're all pulling together, and that's what's important, so we can be here and serve our community. So
you make pretty good money. You get to go home each day with a good sense of I done good.
Accomplishment, yes.
Accomplishment, and you get to help the community all at the same time. That's a win-win-win-win, if you ask me. Again, September 21st in East Wenatchee is the free public safety, as Doug mentioned already. Normally you have to pay for some of the stuff. They're going to waive the charge on that when you do that. Do your homework. RiverCom needs help, folks. They've been helping us for 20 years. It's time to return the favor. Monica, it's good to see you.
Thank you, you too.
Here's hoping your next shift you're just bored. Just as bored as you can be.
I don't think
Fair
that's going to happen, but...
You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
I'm Jen Mueller. Watch for my show, I Cook, You Measure on NCW Life. It's part cooking instruction, part entertainment, and all about connecting over food and wine with your favorite Northwest athletes.
Watch I Cook, You Measure with Jen Mueller Mondays at 1, Wednesdays at 2, Fridays at 11 a.m., and Saturday and Sundays at 10:30 p.m. right here on the NCW Life channel.
Thank you for trusting Abby's Legendary Pizza for 60 years. Your hard-earned money supports hundreds of youth working at our parlors, dozens and dozens of nonprofits and school teams throughout the area. At Abby's, doing good in the neighborhood has never tasted so delicious. Can you smell it? It's not arugula and pear. It's bacon, bacon, and cheddar. Yep. Everybody's favorite pizza is back on sale this month at Abby's, loaded with 2 kinds of bacon and real cheddar cheese. Enjoy Abby's September special at a very special price.
Building. It's in our blood. Building something out of nothing. It takes heart, grit, and hard work. At One Way Construction, our crew is our family. With decades of contracting experience and our in-house design team, we bring a unique perspective to building. We know that if we work together, we are capable of reaching heights that are impossible to reach alone. The possibilities are endless.
Here's your coffee. That'll be $5.
Thanks.
Oh, it's only $5.
Oh, I like paying double.
Why?
I've always paid more.
You wouldn't pay double for coffee. So don't pay double on your heating bill. Cut your heating bills by up to half when you switch to a heat pump or ductless mini split and get cash back from Chelan PUD plus federal tax credits. Learn more at chelanpud.org/save.
Before we send you on your way with the weather forecast, quick little programming reminder, shop talk if you will. Our very first autumn prep sports broadcast is tomorrow night. We'll be at Wildcat Stadium in East Wenatchee. The defending Big 9 champion Eastmont Wildcats have already started the season with a victory. We'll try and make it 2 in a row. Post Falls, Idaho will be in town, just right on the other side of the border. They're going to hop on the bus, drive 3 hours, and take on the Wildcats. We'll take to the air for the pregame show at about 6:30. Kick off at 7 o'clock with Grant Olson and Eric Granstrom on the call. So we're back at it. Looking forward to it. High school football. And one other thing that we need to mention is kind of slid under the radar because it's this Saturday. It's the Apple Cup. First of all, it's at Lumen Field, the home of the Seahawks. That's just the way it worked out. And it's in mid-September because that's just the way it worked out. I mean, we're so used to having the Apple Cup Thanksgiving weekend. Not this year, and a lot of people kind of forgot about it. But the Huskies and the Cougars will do battle, and it's only available on Peacock. You have to have the Peacock streaming service in order to watch the Apple Cup at 12:30 on Saturday afternoon. Don't shoot the messenger. Besides, I got Peacock, so I'll be watching. All right, from the National Weather Service, a very autumnal and all things considered pretty quiet weather forecast until we get to next week. The only real thing out there today that you might take note of is the wind. It'll be a little breezy today. Northwest wind about 10 to 15 miles an hour. Outside of that, a lot of sunshine. High of 76. It's a little bit below normal. 52 for the overnight low tonight. Still a little breezy. Tomorrow in the morning, lots of sunshine. In the afternoon, lots of clouds. Clouds will be thickening up. High of 79 degrees on Friday. Fairly cloudy Friday night. 57 for the overnight low. We'll see a mixture of clouds and sun, but mostly sunny on Saturday. And a high of 76. And looks like next week could be a little wet. That's it for us. Have a good and safe Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.